And right now at 6 o'clock, the state Senate is finally back in session after an hours-long delay.
But the lawmakers are not discussing abortion, at least not yet, despite filing more than 60 amendments to the bill. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist is live at the State House with the latest.
So right now, the Senate is discussing a bill that is supplemental to that abortion legislation. This would create the Hoosier Families First Fund. It would set aside $45 million for various services, such as services for pregnant and postpartum women. Now, once the Senate gets to the abortion bill itself, they're going to have to discuss more than 60 proposed changes. About half of them come from Democrats. They include extending the deadline to get an abortion in case of rape or incest to 20 weeks. Other amendments from Democrats include requiring private insurance to cover contraception, as well as doula services for pregnant women. Now, earlier today, Democrats again accused Republicans of taking a dictatorial approach.
We may not be in leadership, we may not be in the majority, but we represent Hoosiers as well. And yesterday, by denying the opportunity for us to discuss a minority report that we timely submitted, followed all the rules, and then through a procedural step to deny us to even have the discussion on the floor is denying Hoosiers in the state of Indiana an opportunity to have their voices heard. And we've seen that over and over again through this process.
Republicans have submitted a number of their own amendments, some of which are similar to Democrats' proposals, but other Republican amendments would drop the rape and incest exceptions altogether. There also are proposals to let the Attorney General prosecute offenses under the bill if county prosecutors refuse to do so, as Marion County's Ryan Mears has. A spokesperson for Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray said yesterday in response to those accusations of dictatorial conduct of these debates that Democrats have had plenty of chances to submit amendments. And we should point out it's extremely unlikely the Senate will discuss all of these proposed changes. That ultimately will be up to Senate leadership. Live at the State House, Garrett Bergquist, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.